Hi everyone. So, thankfully nothing happened after I released my last video. Thank God. And I just want to say that last night I downloaded some pictures that you know what? Since my tablet is not, it's not alerting anything bad or complicated that I have to fix. So if I just download just like a almost 30 things, like 28 things, everything will be fine. And thankfully, nothing happened. When I downloaded those things and added them to the one of the albums in the Photos app, nothing alerted. Nothing was alerted. Nothing bad happened. Especially since I don't have the Files app on my home page, on the home screen of my tablet, because it was getting super annoying. But anyway, everything's fine. I just hope nothing bad happens at all. But anyway, sometimes I worry about my tablet too much. Anyway, so I wanted to make some videos about some certain things, but I forgot. So the main thing oh my God, what was that? Anyway, the main thing I wanted to talk about was game theory, Fnaf, the rise of Afton, Fnaf, the Ultimate Timeline, which was uploaded a year ago.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, and officially page 7. Freestanding Henry-style robot. But because it was still new, these two men, a invention, this running Fredbear's Family Diner, and the newly opened free. 1983, business was booming with two whole restaurant franchises running, Fredbear's Family Diner and the newly opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Together, William and Henry had been able to take the hybrid suit idea and make it into a reality. They called their new invention the Springlock suit. And fittingly enough, it was symbolic of the partnership between these two men. A human suit as designed by William that could become a freestanding Henry-style robot. But because it was still new tech with kinks to work out, the rollout was limited, restricted only to the Fredbear's Family Diner location.
Now, considering that some people say, including MatPat himself, say that Henry Chico's party world was in the early 1980s, and William was jealous of the popularity. William and Henry decided to work together and create Fredbear's Family Diner. Yeah, I just don't see that. Especially since most people don't know the origin of how Henry and William became friends, but mostly they met around college during the early to mid 1960s, in my timeline.
All of this meant that William was busier than ever. He didn't have time to be a full-time parent, so he designed a nanny cam system where cameras and speakers were in throughout the neighborhood, as well as in his young...
No, that would be sort of impossible, especially, that would be sort of, I don't know, illegal, wrong, dangerous, and, other stuff, especially since, the psychic, plush Fredbear, even though it's a nice concept, it's cute, I mean, the Crying Child, yes, might have a Fredbear plush, but most of the time when the Fredbear plush is anywhere throughout the minigames, it's It's part of the crying child's imagination, especially with the Fredbear plush speaking to the crying child, presumably named Evan. Anyway.
His son's favorite toy, psychic friend Fredbear. I mean, plushy Fredbear. But since cameras just weren't enough to raise a kid, he also left childcare duties to his eldest son, Michael. There was just one problem with that. Michael was far from the best babysitter. He tormented his younger brother by jump scaring him with a boxing mask and
But was Fredbear there? No. No, no, no. Now, Midnight Motors happens after William kills Charlotte. I'm pretty sure. And MatPat was right, especially Siri Squawks, about Michael Afton being the runaway instead of the crime child, because that would be impossible. Especially Michael being the person to sit in the sofa watching TV, also impossible.
He left him behind. William watched all of it from his cameras. Kids would be kids. Tomorrow wasn't. Years. The rest. The fallible machine we as humans were. Our reality is so easy to manipulate with a few sensory deceptions. Deceptions like sound. With just a few sounds, he had discovered that he could alter a person's vision. He could transform blank, smooth plastic robots into twisted nightmares. Nightmares far scarier than he could create with actual materials. They would appear organic, rotting, putrid, and terrifying. These would be his means of keeping his son Michael in the house where he belonged. Was it extreme? Maybe, but then and this was the boy who had killed his son.
Now, I obviously do not believe this, because, William Afton experimenting on his own children, like I said multiple times in a couple of my videos concerning this, it's completely fucked up. Sure, it's extreme, but at the same time, William Afton is unhinged. But would he experiment? Or, at least, murder his own children? No. No! No! And Fnaf 4, even though the actual nights, gameplay nights that happened, well, were part of other kids being experimented on via fear, because the Fnaf 4 bedroom is actually an experiment room right by the underground bunker. Anyway, Fnaf 4 sort of takes place after Sister Location, maybe? I mean, before Sister Location happens, there's the story Didophobia, which involves a kid named Roy, who's the last the last remaining kid in the experiment room, and he presumably dies later on at the end of the story, presumably in the fence. Anyway.
He would make him sorry.
Elizabeth dies after 1985, but right before Fnaf 2.
Michael would grow up not only dealing with the memories of his own.
They're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away.
All the original animatronics. Now, the year was 1980 that just so happened to catch the attention of William Afton. Freddy's was back without him. That was his idea, his character. Henry was, yet again, trying to cut him out of the picture. No, as long as these...
Henry wasn't involved in FNAF 2. He was mentioned by the phone guy, but, William Afton did appear in FNAF 2, but he went by the alias of Dave Miller, because during FNAF 1, in the newspaper clippings, he was arrested and convicted with, the murders of the missing children, but was able to get out of it pretty quickly. He was sort of found innocent, but was still convicted. So he went under a new identity known by via Dave Miller, working as a security guard in Fnaf 2 somehow, and murdering 5 more children, which might be actually true, but the toy animatronics not possessed. More likely, they're the remnant of the original missing children. The original bodies were condemned, and some of their parts were used to make the toy animatronics. So, yeah. Anyway.
Restaurants stayed open. William would always come back.
I also wanted to say this, that I feel like Purple Guy's motives originally stem from the fact that he wanted every Five Nights at Freddy's location to be closed down, especially sort of like Angela Baker from Sleepaway Camp, who wants to close down the camps that she's attending because her motives are vague, but I would say that she wanted to be a good person because she was bullied as a child in the original Sleepaway Camp film. So, and she's just murdering people because they're terrible people who are just in the camp for some reason. So, yeah.
Then he noticed the phone number to apply at the bottom of the article. $100 a week. A lowly day shift security guard. And there it was.
Yes, he murdered 5 more children. But like I said, Elizabeth's death happened after the missing children's incident, but before Fnaf 2.
Buried in the back of parts and circles. Frantic, perhaps by mixing the soul. It took days. Saw the animatronics torn apart in the middle of the party room floor. Days lying in his own blood, but eventually someone found the security guard making a normal clean the damage, and who else would be the one to help save him, to get him out of this suit, saying nothing, turn and walk away.
This is just to inform all employees that this building is most located inside, and
So, yeah, but this just felt like a really solid stopping point.
Well, MatPat was right about the most parts. There are, of course, flaws with this. I just mentioned them. Elizabeth, yes, didn't die, wasn't the first character to die in the series, because the fact that William became a serial killer but then a mad scientist, Elizabeth Afton's death wouldn't take place in 1983. I mean, especially experiments in 1983, in my opinion, not even possible. That's just, it just doesn't add up. But, this was a close enough analysis of this part of MatPat's Ultimate Timeline. It's correct for the most part, I will say. But still, there were some flaws that I needed to correct in my, due to my timeline that I try to do the simplest to do, especially with certain family details in Winky fandoms, the fanverse with the fan games, and other details that were implemented or at least theorized. I don't know. Okay, I'm trying my best. But this video I liked. It was correct for the most part, but like I said, there were a couple flaws. I needed to correct them, and I did just that. Also, I'm still continuing some of my MatPat's stories, just to let you know. And I just hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye.